Hi everyone, haven't done a video for the horror appraisal in a long time. Evan and I do want to get back and do our fun things, and I happened to see Midsommar last night, and I wanted to give very quick thoughts about it. This won't be super in-depth, but what I will say is that I loved Hereditary. I've seen it maybe 4 or 5 times, and every time I saw something different that I didn't see the first time around. And that's what really intrigued me when Ari Aster released Midsommar. Midsommar is about a woman who is suffering through immense grief, and her boyfriend is a major dick, and we see that he is really unwilling to see past anything but his own ego. The woman is, the girl, his girlfriend, is very much apologetic. If he does something wrong, she's apologizing for it. But at any rate, he is working on a doctoral thesis, and he's kind of inept at doing that. And he ends up going to Sweden with his friends in school to film, or to not film, but to do their thesis work on studies over there, particularly midsummer activities. So they fall upon this crazy cult and do a lot of drugs, and it's very surreal. And I'll just give you my lasting impressions. I don't know that I can recall a movie that was shot more beautifully than Midsommar. The cinematography is out of this world, and as someone who is working on films, I am blown away when I think back just to how the film looked. Every single shot was very developed and very well thought out and very planned, very intentional. The film was exceptionally drawn out, intentionally. And I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing. I think that some people are going to look at this film and be like, wow, that was really weird, incredibly messed up, and it was so long. But you know, it has to be long to draw you in, to hypnotize you. And honestly, a film with this much detail couldn't have been 90 minutes. If it had been 90 minutes, the violence that we saw, the really weird stuff that we saw, wouldn't have been as effective. It's a fantastic score, fantastic. I think that our main cast, like our top stars, were pretty good, and I think that overall that element of it was pretty good. I think that there are some holes in the story. However, I think there's reasons for that. I think it's very intentional for the story to be kind of vague and for us to not really know what's going on. And I would love to really share what I think about the ending and what I think actually happened. I will say that what we see is something I don't think is reality. I think that it's a trip. I think that what we see is the result of one person's grief leading to the inability to handle the drugs that she does. And I think that we see someone dreaming and hallucinating in a very detailed way. To sum it up, some of the most violent, horrific effects that I've seen. You do get your treats. You do get a lot of reminiscent throwbacks to Wicker Man, especially Wicker Man to a much lesser extent pulled off something disturbing. This movie is very disturbing. Lots of strange sex practices and murder and just horrific things. So I would definitely recommend you see this if you were a fan of Hereditary, but don't go into it expecting Hereditary, because they're very different films. And I don't know, if you wish to see something that's going to mess you up for a while, I think that Midsommar is right up your alley. And if you go to with a full theater, prepare to feel awkward. I'm Sam, and thanks for watching my thoughts on Midsommar.